back to Low Country Spotlight. As you know, Low Country Spotlight is your go-to place for all items in the community, and we are so happy to bring to you some news about a jewel that we have right here in the Low Country. And I'm quite frankly pretty embarrassed to admit that I have never had an opportunity to tour Middleton Place, but we have today with us Jeff Neal, and Jeff Neal is actually, he is the stable interpretive manager. I know I said that wrong, but you tell me what you are.
Stable Yards interpretive manager.
Stable Yards interpretive manager. Now, Middleton Place is the oldest landscape gardens in North America. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And it is a jewel in the Low Country. And
yes.
in addition to being this wonderful tourist spot, you also host an event called Plantation Days.
Yes, Plantation Days is our annual event we do every year. This year it'll be on the 14th and 15th of November. It'll run from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock each day. And for this year's event, well, what we're focusing basically is on the working life of the plantation. Now, if folks come out to Middleton Place, well, one, they can tour the oldest landscape gardens in North America. Yeah. They can also walk through our house museum, which contains many items related to the Middleton family. But if they come into the stable yards, well, where the interpretive framework of both the gardens and the house kind of centers around the Middletons, and the stable yards, our interpretive framework centers around the lives and the work of the enslaved Africans and African Americans that were on the plantation.
Now, for those people like me who don't know, tell us a little bit about the history of the Middleton family and of Middleton Place.
Well, Middleton Place itself, as far as the plantation, was actually acquired by Henry Middleton in 1741 through marriage. And the plantation, we'll say, was in existence from 1741 up until 1865.
And it was a full working plantation?
Yes, it was a full working plantation. Matter of fact, the 4 generations of Middletons that we interpret on the plantation, well, Henry Middleton, he was a member or president of the First Continental Congress. Arthur Middleton was a signer of the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, wow.
His son, Henry Middleton, was governor of South Carolina and also an ambassador to Russia. And then his son, Williams Middleton, was actually a signer of the Secession of Ordinance.
I had no idea I was going to get a history lesson today.
Oh, yes, we do quite a bit. So I think it's an interesting site that, as far as the family goes, well, we have one person who helps form the country, the United States, with the sign of the Declaration. And then we have another one, his grandson, well, he helps tear apart the country with the Civil War.
Now tell me a little bit about, you keep using the word interpretive, and I know you're dressed in, I think this is the 1700s.
Late 1700s,
late 1700s costume. So you actually have people that are dressed as the members of the Middleton family, and they go about as the members of the Middleton family would during that period of time?
Well, not so much as dressed as members of the Middleton family. We have more interpreters, again, that are trying to portray or demonstrate the type of skills that were practiced on the plantation. For Plantation Days, for example, we're going to have roughly about 35 costume interpreters. We'll also have about 15 volunteers. And some of the skills, well, the skills that we're going to be presenting there, first of all, they are all documented based on primary and secondary sources from the Middleton archives of activities that actually happened at Middleton Place. For example, in 1793, there was an enslaved worker there by the name of Quaco. He was a blacksmith. Then there was Caesar. He was a house carpenter. And then there was Nancy and Daphne, and they were seamstresses. And these enslaved workers are not only doing things for the Middleton family, they're also doing them for the enslaved community there. So on Plantation Days, well, we will have blacksmiths out there making tools and doing other ironwork. We will have carpenters and coopers making barrels and buckets and other items. We'll also have seamstresses that'll be sewing clothing. Matter of fact, some of the clothing that they're working on, visitors will be able to try on.
Oh, wow.
We have several hands-on activities that the visitors can do. They can come out, make their own candles. We'll show you how to dip a candle. You'll also get to help make a barrel. And that you'll do pottery. You'll get to make your own pot that you'll take home. Other things that we're going to focus on are, shall we say, the cash commodities of the Low Country.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because what was produced on this plantation? Was it cotton? Was it tobacco?
Well, the Middleton family were involved probably in our 3 major commodities here in South Carolina, in the 18th century. And they were rice, indigo, and hide tanning. Right? So we will be going through the process of rice. We will have visitors not only watch, but they'll also be able to participate in taking the rice from the field and showing it how it gets to the table. We'll also be tanning hides out there, animal hides, deer hides. And lastly, we will be doing indigo. Do you know what indigo is?
It's a color.
It's a color blue. Matter of fact, it is the fashion statement of the 18th century.
Is that why your coat is that color?
There
is
we
that
go,
indigo
exactly.
blue?
In 1770, just to give you an example, they will export out of the Low Country almost 1 million pounds of indigo.
Wow.
Okay, and at that same year, pretty close, that same year, they will export almost 83 million pounds of rice out of the Low Country. So it's a very important part of our culture here, those commodities.
Well, tell us a little bit about how many years, I guess, the plantation and this interpretive type activity has gone on.
Well, Middleton Place, the Middleton Place Foundation was actually formed in the 1970s.
Okay.
And the stable yards were actually opened in 1970, where we're showing the working life. And then the House Museum was actually opened in 1975 to the public. And we've been carrying on. Plantation Days have been going on, I think we're approaching around our 40th year of doing this.
Wow.
You know. In addition to some of these activities, we'll also have a wonderful lady. She's known as the Gullah Lady. Her name is Sharon Cooper Murray. She will be doing a first-person enslaved interpretation, which will include elements of Gullah culture such as storytelling, music. She does a fantastic job. She'll be giving several presentations all throughout the day. And then we also have members of the Colonial Ladies Society that's here in Charleston. They're going to be doing, well, while I will be in the stable yards doing history, they are going to be doing herstory.
Okay.
They're going to focus on the history of women, the working life of women. They will be doing such things as making medicine, laundry, soap making, food preservation, spinning, dyeing.
Just making the family work, kind of like what women do right now anyway.
Yes, and again, and I think that's the focus of Plantation Days. We're showing the working life of the plantation.
How different would Plantation Days be showing the working life versus showing what actually is going on inside of the house in the Middleton family?
Well, the Middleton family, keep in mind that we do have an enslaved population, okay, on the plantation, and they are doing primarily the work. Matter of fact, we always say that the work that goes on the stable yards, the work done by these enslaved men, women, and children, well, they are what make both the gardens and the house, and even the Middleton's lifestyle at the time during the 18th and 19th century. They're what makes it possible.
Right, right. Well, that's a wonderful opportunity for us to actually learn what it was like during that time. And I have not been to Middleton Place yet, but I plan on coming to Plantation Days.
You need to come visit us, please. Please do.
Why don't you do this as we wrap up? Why don't you look right in that camera
Sure.
and you tell us exactly what the dates and times are for Plantation Days?
Again, Plantation Days at Middleton Place will be on the 14th and 15th of November, and it'll be from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock each day. A splendid time is guaranteed for all, so please come out and see us.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for being here with us today. We will have more information about Plantation Days on our website, on our Facebook page, so be sure to check out Plantation Days, and we'll be right back with more Low Country Spotlight.